Internets, welcome back to another episode of the Premium Pete Show. Sitting down with, I want to say this may be like a 4-time returning guest. My friend, comedian, I don't want to say weirdo, but sometimes you are.
You can call me weirdo.
Just an all-around great guy. Some people love him, some people hate him. Some people think he knows how to play basketball. My friend, Andrew Schulz. Chea. Andrew,
what's up?
Listen, first of all.
It's my 4th time?
I think at least.
Wow.
You came on, pause.
Well, we don't know if I came on a girl or boy.
Well, let's not start off with that.
Yeah, but the whole
you came on very
thing,
early.
Have you?
I moved on. I moved on from it.
But have you heard about how we've reinvented pause?
No, tell me.
So let's say you were watching a movie, right? And then a gay sex scene started happening in the movie, right? Would you press pause or would you press fast forward?
Fast forward.
Because you want to get by it. So everybody who's doing this pause game is actually stopping it to think about the gay shit. Pausing is the gayest thing that you could possibly do when someone says something that could potentially be gay. Matter of fact, I would feel pretty confident saying that anybody that says pause on a regular basis thinks about gay shit probably even more than gay dudes.
Well, people have been known to say that. You know, that's your thought. I think the pause was more like, and you're right, I understand when you talk about the lingo of it, but it was more to like, mute that, hold up. You know
but
what I mean?
You're pausing it
you're right.
on
When
the
you
penetration scene. Like, pause right there so I get a good look at it. That's how I see it. Like, whenever I see a dude like, yo, pause, it's like, oh, you want to just stay on this topic? So you just want to sit in the gay for a little bit? You know what I mean? But if you were like fast forward, it's like, all right, let's go right back to the next straight shit.
You know, you just came off a tour. I mean, you're
Right.
always on tour.
Yeah.
CIS tour. What does that mean? What does that even mean? CIS.
So the tour is called Views from the Cis.
What does that mean?
Cis, it's a play off a Drake album, Views from the Six.
Okay.
Right? But cis is a cisgendered male. So in this weird fucking time in history, there's no longer just male, female, right? A cisgendered male is a man born into a man's body, which we used to call a man. Crazy idea that if you're born with a cock, that you're a fucking man. So, but now you're not. Now you're not a man. You're a cisgender man opposed to a transgendered man, right? So, I was like, I just think that whole shit is stupid. So I called this tour "Views from the Cis," right? So it's like views from a straight guy. Yeah.
You know, we spoke about this before.
Yeah.
Comedy is sensitive.
Yes.
And when I say, and I'm glad you're saying yes, because not everyone, you know, it's like, you got to be careful what you say these days.
No.
But I still, okay.
But go.
This is how I feel.
Yeah. You go. I want to respond to you.
But you have been able to somewhat, in my opinion, from just knowing you and viewing you, and make a lot of sense to a lot of these crazy jokes.
Right.
Give, I don't want to say only facts, but even more substance.
Yes.
But
when you say crazy joke, you mean certain topics that
touchy
everyone
jokes,
is
maybe.
afraid to talk about.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you afraid to talk about anything?
No.
So there's nothing off limits?
No, nothing's off limits.
Why is that?
Because that's the dance, bro. That's what I enjoy about comedy. I'm a bullfighter. I'm a fucking matador, you know? And the premise, the premise of the joke, the topic of the joke is the bull, right? Comics always say this shit like, comedy's like boxing. It's not like boxing. Okay? No boxer has ever said, you know, being in the ring is just like telling a joke on stage. There's nothing like that at all. It's just nerdy comics are trying to find a way to make themselves seem, you know, like they have bravado, etc. The reason it's not like boxing comedy is because when you're boxing someone who's really good, you don't look good. You don't look elegant. You don't look beautiful in there. It's a fucking struggle. It's a fight, right? The reason comedy is bullfighting is because when a great bullfighter is in there, they're not struggling with that bull. They're fucking dancing with that shit. This 3,000, 4,000 pound beast with 2 horns. They're tapping foreheads with it. They're playing with it, right? And that's what I want to do with it. If you tell me I can't tell a joke about trannies, I'm like, all right, bet. Let me get out my cape. and it's time to dance with this motherfucker, right? And I understand the stakes that are going with it, but that's what makes it that much more exciting, right? And I dance, and I make it look elegant, and I skewer that motherfucker. Now, the road to get there is tough. And right now in this climate, there's a lot of risk involved because you can lose a lot. Patrice O'Neal said that funny jokes and unfunny jokes come from the same place. And it's right? An idea starts out as, with some funny potential, but it doesn't mean it's funny. And it takes me months to craft it into it. It's like the first joke. So I just released the special, right? I've released 2 weeks of the special.
What's it called?
Views from the Sis, the special. It's available on YouTube. My YouTube, youtube.com/Andrew Schulz. We can get into why I do that later. But there's an intro joke that I do, a little Me Too joke, but then there's the first full piece. It's a 6-minute piece about why Trump is 100% right about grabbing pussy, right? When he said that shit about grabbing pussy, right? And you have to see it, man. I don't want to give that much away, but like, I don't want to give any of it away. Matter of fact, y'all should go check it out, but it's unreal. Like when I have time to dig into a piece and use the scalpel instead of the butcher knife, and you start carving away and you start refining it, and you can get it so good that it's like it's never been seen before on YouTube. Like the disparity between likes and dislikes on a video. Usually you just get some dislikes because people are haters or whatever. This is like 6,000, 7,000 likes and like 40 dislikes. Not 40,000, not 4,000, not 400, like 40. Right? Not like I really care about that, but what it says to me specifically is like, oh shit, people are respecting the carving here, right? They're respecting the sculpture. They understand what's happening with the bit, And I just love this time in comedy. You gotta like if you're a comic, you should be so fucking excited about this time where everybody's offended because this is where our legends came from. Carlin, Lenny Bruce, Pryor, these guys all developed in times like this, right? Where you couldn't say shit, and they did, right? This is what separates the men from the boys. When anybody can go out there and do comedy, right? It's because it's safe. You see what I'm saying? Like, when few people can go out there, when people are afraid to do comedy, that's the time where you need to be doing it. Right? That's a time where you need to drop your ball. So I love this time. It's like fucking, Alexander Hamilton when he was excited for war because it was his way to like raise his stakes in society, raise his level in society. Like that's how you should look at this as a comic. That's how I look at this comic. It's like, yeah, this is built for me. Let's go. We're not talking about fucking unicycles anymore. Let's talk about the real shit and see who can get away with it.
Now, where do you find time to, think about jokes? Like, is it on an airplane? Is it in your bed? The reason why I say that, don't get me wrong.
It's tough.
You naturally are funny.
It's tough, bro.
Okay? Yeah. But what I mean by that, there has to be a thought process.
Yeah.
To go over these jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
tough.
You're always on the run.
I need more time. It's like I got to start. I realized, this last year I can't do everything myself.
Sure.
It's like I brought on Alex.
Shout out to Alex
Media. And he's my full-time video guy, so he travels with me. He goes to every show with me around the country, around the world. And he, chops up and edits all of the digital content that we put out. And then I have guys that work like part-time. We're starting this ad agency. So that's a really cool, exciting thing. So I have other guys that are starting to do that, and it's like I have to have a team of people so that I have time to write.
Absolutely.
And for me, it's never writing. For me, it's conversation. Like I don't need to go sit on my couch and write. I need to go have dinner with you. Like you and I need to go have dinner, and then we'll start cooking up something, and we'll start thinking about something, and it's like, oh shit, all right, boom, that is. Like even today, I was walking down the street with my boy Paul Verzi, right, and we were just talking about somebody being upset that somebody made a lot of money, or like there was like a pastor, some of these pastors make all this money, and these pastors have probably saved, if you're like a really good pastor, you probably saved at least 100 lives, right? Like 100 lives under your belt alone. Like somebody who wanted to kill themselves and then heard you fucking talk and decided not to kill themselves. Like that is worth, right? I forgot what we were saying. Like that is worth, millions of dollars. Like that alone is worth millions of dollars, And I forgot who else we were talking about, but it was like, and I was like, look, if you save 2 lives, that's worth millions of dollars. And then we kind of sat there for a second. We're like, all right, maybe not 2, maybe like 5. You know what I mean? And it was just this idea, like, how much, for me, it was like, how much should you get per life you save? You know what I mean? Like this, like, what does a life saved really mean? You know what I mean? Like, how much should a firefighter get when they save someone's life? Like, are you fucking
You
kidding
get
me?
more than their salary.
Fuck yeah, you get
There
a
should
bonus.
be a bonus. Yeah,
Every kid that comes out of there,
sure. Cat? What do you mean? What about the cats?
fuck a cat.
All right.
But every kid, you got to give them something. I don't know how we end up paying for that shit, but like, completely separate note. Have you ever looked at firefighting in reverse?
No.
It's one of the funniest videos you've ever seen. Somebody just rewound a firefighting video, and it's just firefighters throwing kids back into the burning house.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
It is fucking hysterical.
No, it's not hysterical.
It's fucking
You're a sick kid.
hysterical, bro. Dude, yo, they're so calm and casual and everything, and they're just chucking them back in. No one's doing anything.
You're such a sick motherfucker. You really are sick.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
where the fuck were we? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
With the priest getting money, right?
Yeah.
Would anybody
Maybe not a priest, right? But like one of these like
Therapist?
mega pastors.
or a therapist?
Therapist, yeah. Tony Robbins, like, people are like, oh, he's making all this money. It's like he's saving thousands of people's lives. Like, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. He's saving thousands of people's lives.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, the system.
What?
If a firefighter makes, keep in mind, in Jersey too, there's a lot of volunteers.
Yes. That's just to get away from your wife.
That's true.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, if you're getting,
Yo, that's how much dudes hate their wives.
why get married?
No, but like,
No, I understand, but why get
it's
married?
like, babe, I would risk getting burnt alive in a fire so I can be away from you for 2 hours a
It's a
week.
new skit coming
See,
up.
there's a bit there. Like, this is why I love doing this, is because you get these things, you know? Like, the volunteer firefighter is so funny to me. I got to talk about those guys. Like, the bravest, because they're doing it for no money, but are there any single volunteer firefighters? I don't think so.
But think about how serious a job like that is, right?
Yeah.
You're getting a bell ringing. A bell is ringing.
Yeah.
That's telling you got to go into a fucking fire
Yeah.
to save people
Yeah.
you don't even know.
Yep, bro.
Check this out. If
Yeah.
I saw you in a fucking building burning, I would come get you.
Yes, because
I'm
you
not
know
coming
me.
to get somebody I don't know.
Yep, you're 100%
Fuck
right.
you.
You're 100% right, bro.
Burn.
It is. I mean, that's what makes humans special, right? Is that, like, we can sacrifice our lives for people we don't even know, and no other animal does that. And that's why we're able to achieve these things that no other animal can do. Fundamentally speaking, that's what makes us so amazing, is that we're able to sacrifice time, sweat, money for people we don't even fucking know. Even if it's 10 cents a day. Hey, I'm going to give 10 cents a day to some kid, and then they send you a picture of some random Indian kid. That's not your kid. They're just looking for a kid.
There's got to be more rewards. Even like when we spoke about
What do you
this-
think those firefighters are more afraid of? When the bell rings and they have to go to the fire, or when the bell rings and their shift is over and they have to go to their wife?
Not when the fire, I would say the fire. Volunteer, I would say you really, then you don't want to go see your wife.
Yeah.
But these guys are making money. It's
Do
a
you
living.
think they
it's a
ever
career.
lie about a fire so they don't have to go home to their wife?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I remember saying when my first time I was married, I remember saying, yeah, we're working late tonight.
Hey, we think there's going to be another fire, so we're going to hang out.
See, don't wait up for me.
We think a fire's brewing. It's just got to feel it out there. Can you smell that?
Oh my God! All right, baby, I'll go to bed. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah,
All right,
you go
good.
to bed. Just playing poker until 4 in the morning.
Listen. Let me tell you something. One day you're gonna, you know. Do you remember me calling you and telling you that you have? What the fuck is calling?
Engine room, baby.
That you have the ability
Hang up on that shit.
to be one of the greatest.
Thank you.
And you know why I told you this? I don't know if you remember, but I told you you don't have no kids.
Right.
You're not married.
Right.
Right. And a couple other things. So what? The
Nothing
point,
to do with skill.
No.
Just you don't have kids.
No.
And you don't have a wife.
No, but the point I was
you
making.
can be great.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I-
See, that's
I-
funny.
No.
That's humor.
No, you could be next level.
Unplug the phone.
I'm
and
gonna
then it
explain
won't
to you
do it.
why.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you have a kid or you're married, your mindset changes. When you get older,
Yeah.
your mind. I want to give an example.
You're talking about priorities, I think, right?
True, but just time, like growing up, like like you know, like I give an example. You don't have the same worries I have, right?
Right.
And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I have a 19-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and there's like real issues I have to deal with.
Your 19-year-old, does she have a boyfriend?
She had one, please. Even her going to the prom was like something like.
What happened with that? Do you ever get like worried about your daughter getting smoked and shit?
You mean like high?
No, like
you
having
mean
sex. Yeah.
I've actually had conversations. I spoke about this in previous times, but
She's a virgin?
I like to say probably not, but I like to say that I know she's not a slut. I know that she's, she's very careful of who she does. I had talks with her when she was young.
Yeah.
I told her everything. I told her, look, there's going to be a guy who's going to try to put the tip of his penis in you without a condom.
How do you say that to your daughter?
I swear to God.
So uncomfortable.
No, we were driving. So let me explain to you.
Yeah.
We used to go visit. So
how do you bring that up?
So my mother, she loved staying at my grandmother's. And they live an hour and a half away from Brooklyn. So I would pick her up and we would go out there. And on the ride there, we would listen to music and we would talk. And it was one of our best bonding times. It's almost like when you're a parent, like driving your kids to school or walking them to school is a great bonding moment to talk.
Yeah.
And I was asking her about some guys, and she may have been like 15 or 14 at the time. And I was explaining to her about condoms and the reason why they're important. And she was explaining to me that some guys, check this out, at 14, 15, we're telling them they don't use condoms.
Well, yeah, because they're not fucking.
Well, maybe they are.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So the point
I wasn't using condoms at 14 or 12.
No, but what I'm saying is I was explaining to her that you got napkins for him, but I was explaining to her, listen, do not, no matter what you do, let somebody, because I've been even that person where you try to put the tip in and you don't use a condom. I just want her to have safe sex if she has sex. So that's my conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
And how did she take that?
She said, Dad, this is awkward.
It is awkward.
I said, it's awkward, but it's necessary.
Hey, you know what's more awkward?
What?
The conversation where she goes, Dad, I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. But here's the thing. Tell me, now, is this being, check this out.
Yeah.
You have a daughter, you have a son.
Yeah.
Two different ways of growing them up.
Yeah.
I always used to use this example. I'm glad I have a son and a daughter. I have the best of both worlds.
Right.
But with my son, I'm thinking when he turns 21 and I'm at the bar and he meets me for a drink.
Right.
Yeah, Dad, how you doing? Good. Yeah, you still with that girl's son? Yeah, man. Mink, she got some big tits. Yeah, Dad, I'm bouncing them all
Right.
over. Imagine your daughter coming to the bar and saying, I'm just saying if you happen to talk, how's your boyfriend doing? Yeah, he's stretching me out. You know what I mean? He's doing this like, no, but think about that. You don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know how sexual conversations usually? The mother has sexual conversations with the daughter.
You just connect with the person of your same gender.
Yeah, I'm just asking. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know if somebody was stretching out my daughter, but I guess I would. I wonder if I would hope my daughter was dating a guy with a big dick or a small dick. I think I would probably hope. I wouldn't, because you want her to be happy, right? So you want her to have a sizable cock, but you don't want some kid to be able to look at you every day like, yo, your daughter can't take dick. like he comes down for breakfast and he's just looking at you like,
Get
hey,
the fuck out
why
of
don't
the
you give me
house.
some orange juice before I stretch your daughter out again before afternoon? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's a weird dynamic that you're going to have with the guy that's fucking your daughter, man. That is something
scary. What do you mean? It's scary because
I imagine
it's like a hush hush.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's like me and you. You're with a girl. Say you're not that close with her. You're just dating her. I can turn to you, but Andrew, you fucking that? Oh my God, she's incredible.
You know what's so weird?
You can't have those conversations.
You can't have those conversations. But you know what's so weird is like for girlfriends that I've had in the past, I always wanted, Pete, their father's approval. I always wanted their father to like me, and it's like, why? Like, her father should want me to like him because I'm the one that's balls deep in your daughter. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do I give a fuck if you like me? You should be worried if I like you, because then if I like you, I'll be extra maybe good to your daughter because I'm worried about that relationship. But like, if the dad is going to be a dick to me, it's like, okay. Really?
I think it's just wanting to please the dad because it's their dad. Yeah, it's fucking shit is tough.
I'm fucking on your pull-out couch.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's your pull-out couch, Pops.
That's what I'm saying.
What's good?
It's a secret society.
Yeah.
That shit. They don't even know.
You gonna not have a conversation with me at dinner? All right.
Crazy. Pops is going to sit down and there's cum all over the fucking pull-out
But it doesn't
couch.
have to be that way. If you're just a nice guy to me, I don't have to nut all over your pull-out couch.
Oh, hopefully you don't.
There's a reason it's called a pull-out couch. Because your boy is pulling out all over.
I like that. No, years ago we spoke about sleeping with fans.
Yes.
Do you still do that?
You know, that clip did really well.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So let's go part 2. Are you still sleeping with fans?
Of course.
Now you said it's our. I don't know if you said something before, but you said something like it's our duty to. I forgot how you said it. But
It depends. I feel like, I don't know if I said this before, but this is how I feel about it now. It's like a lot of times, especially with podcasts and stand-up, it's a very intimate relationship with your fans, right? With stand-up, they're knowing my deepest, darkest feelings about the world. And podcasting, they know more about my life than my best friends. They're listening to me 4 hours to 6 hours a week.
Sure.
Okay? So when they meet me, they're meeting somebody that they already know and they're already friendly with and they feel like is one of the closest people to them in their life, right? Now, I don't have that connection to them right away, but I feel very calm and comfortable with them. These people know I don't have to put on a facade, right? Ross from Friends, everybody he meets thinks he's Ross from Friends. They don't think he's David Schwimmer. They don't care if David Schwimmer, the real dude, is different than Ross from Friends. They're looking at him like, yo, all right, cool, that's cool. Go back to the Ross shit. Be Ross. If he's fucking fans, he's catfishing them. Think about it. Because they're fucking Ross. You know what I mean? They're fucking the Ross filter.
that's what they're there for.
They're fucking the Ross. So for me, that would crush me. Like, I do not want to be known for a character that isn't me. That would cripple me, man. Imagine operating that world. Everybody's coming up to you and saying these fucking lines and shit that have nothing to do with you. You don't believe in it at all. You don't feel any part of it. It's just your whole life is a lie. It's like Dice Clay. It's like Dice Clay isn't that guy. Dice Clay's a Jewish dude from Brooklyn.
Sure.
Who started pretending to be an Italian. And then he got so successful, he just decided to be that. He's trans-Italian. He's Dolezal.
Trans-Italian.
He's the Rachel Dolezal of Italians.
Of Italians, yeah.
But like, that's what happens. The pressure is so heavy. The pressure is so heavy to please the fan. You end up just becoming what they want.
Sure.
And I refuse to do that. So I have to deliver you who I am so you can connect with that. So if you connect with that and you're a fan and we vibe, then yeah, why shouldn't we have sex? We just jumped ahead of like mad steps.
Sure,
like when you meet somebody, the idea is get to know them. Well, we halfway there. You know me. So what's up with you?
It's like relationships when you used to hang on the phone. If you talked on the phone a couple of times, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. That phone calls helped ease the process of when you meet or when you meet next.
1000%. But these kids don't know what the fuck that is.
No, I'm
These kids don't know about talking on the phone before.
Even saying with fans, you're blessed as well, and sometimes you may not even realize this, but being a comedian,
yes,
being a talented comedian,
yes,
but then doing a podcast, doing 2 podcasts,
yes,
you're like 10 steps already ahead of a comedian,
yes,
that is doing it for 10 years.
Yes.
You know why? Because he's relying on his night, his stand up at night or whatever. It's insane.
He's trying to build a fan base, 200 people per show, right?
And you have a built-in fan base.
I'm building a fan base, 100,000 people show,
Around the
300,000 people show around the world. I mean, this is how you do it. This is how you got to empower yourself. This is what the LA comedy scene did that the New York comedy scene hasn't figured out. That's what I'll be doing after this special is I got to congeal the New York comedy scene.
Yeah.
Because the LA comedy scene, you have all these comics that got their podcasts and they got really power and they got really popular and then they got empowered. And when comics run the industry, the content is always great. When the industry runs the industry, the content is always trash. It's no different than music. It's no different than anything. If the people who don't make the content are making the decisions, it will not be good. If the people that do make the content are making decisions, we're in for a nice, fun ride. I'm not the most well-known dude about hip-hop, but like when I think about myself coming up, the most potent movements in music that I can think about, obviously there's, Biggie and the New York movement, but I really truly remember that Hot Boys movement. And that was so organic to the artists, right? They were so intimately involved in the creation of that. Like, they were one step away from the exec.
Sure.
It wasn't a couple guys in an office. They're like, okay, we like face tattoos now. Find me a kid with face tattoos. Right? It was like, here were these dudes. They were all friends, all came up together, all rapping, and they were just all featuring on each other's shit. It wasn't like, okay, let me go get a feature from Kendrick because that's going to make the song blow up. Or let me get a feature from Drake because that's going to make the song blow up. Wayne was just like, hey, man, Juvie, you want to do a feature on this one? Okay. Right? It was super organic, right? So for me, that's what I need to make the New York scene happen. It's too competitive. People don't want to help each other. And they don't want to help each other because they're not in situations where they're financially stable. And that's what I've been doing with my whole like approach to content in general, is just trying to like teach these folks that like you can empower yourself through the internet. You don't have to be waiting for Comedy Central or Netflix to cut you a check. You can empower yourself and then get on the road and make money on the road.
You did that with your last special. Now, you were a little, I remember...
I changed comedy with my last special.
It's funny. You were just with Joe Rogan recently.
No, I wasn't.
That wasn't recently?
Well, he came to my show in L.A.
But somewhere I heard that he wants to take your approach with releasing comedy. Is that true?
Well, him and Bill Burr talked about it on his podcast.
Okay.
But that was unreal when he came to the show in L.A., man. That was like... Yeah, that was like a special moment, man, because I finished out the tour in L.A. We did 2 shows at the Comedy Store and sold them out, and Joe Rogan walked into the fucking green room in between shows, and, he's our generation's Johnny Carson, so, sure. Like, I think, like, for me, I never had, wasn't raised with religion, so I never understood I never had, like, the sustained faith thing, and then something happened. Does that make sense? Like, where in religion, it's often like, hey, pray on that, sure. Pray on that. And then when something happens, you're like, oh my God, this works. So like, for me, when maybe 2 years ago, all the networks said no about about my comedy special. And I was like, I had to figure out how I could break into this business, even though all the doors were closed. Right. So it was like to figure out that strategy. And then 2 years later, be selling out 2 shows at the Comedy Store, and then have literally the top of the business walk into the green room and say, hey, man, I want to check you out, man. I heard great things, and do a spot on the show. It was just an unreal moment. You know what I'm saying? For me.
Sure.
And like, what was so unreal about it is I asked for none of that. I stopped asking. I removed desire for things out of my control from my life. I stopped wanting things and started making things. I bought all my cameras. I hired my friends, and I said, okay, I want to do a show where comedians discuss, offensive jokes. Let's shoot it. I didn't go, okay, here's my idea. Let's go to the networks and pitch it, and then get turned down. I stopped wanting things out of my control. And I want to shoot my own special, and I want to do it in, 4 different countries in Europe, and I want to shoot a tour documentary with it, and I'll fly 2 guys out with me. Let's do it. The second I stopped asking the universe for shit and trying to take from the universe, and the second I just started giving the universe shit, it gave me back everything and more. And I had like immense gratitude. I was emotional on the way back from LA. Because if you knew like that journey and the faith that I had to have in that journey, like everybody's saying what I should have done on the way, and then me going, no, we're not going to do it. No, just trust this. Like, you're really rolling the dice on your fucking career. And to like be able to like be so raw and pure and authentic and just about my care about the comedy and care about the game, and for like the comedy universe to kind of like gravitate around that and like prop me up. It was so cool. And then that moment he walked in the green room, I was like, wow, man, this is fucking unreal. It's like feeling like you unlocked some sort of key to life. You know, it's just do not just give, man. It's like everything I do on social media for stand-up and everything I've done, that's for comics. And even if you're not a comic, if you're just another creative, that's a blueprint for you. This is for you. I'm giving this to you to emulate and improve upon. And when you improve upon it, tell me about that shit. You know what I mean? So we can continue to build. I'm a resource for my comedy brothers and sisters. That's what this is about. But I couldn't have gotten there, Pete, if I wasn't reduced to nothing first.
Hit rock bottom.
I had to. Now, my rock bottom is still, I got an apartment in New York City. I got a great podcast with Charlemagne. I got all these things. But like, what I mean by rock bottom is like every door closed into the stand-up side of the business. I'd still done some acting, some sitcoms, that kind of shit like that. But the stand-up side of the business, all the doors closed. And
I remember how you were upset that, you know.
I was broken. But I needed to be broken. You just got to unplug the phone, and then they can't call it because it doesn't have any electricity.
Calling here. Who the fuck is calling?
So
they know you're here, Schulz.
That's it. They're calling from. So any cord that's in it, you just unplug it. Good. So I needed to be broken, bro. I needed before that, I was going like this. I was like, hey, what are you guys going to give me? You know, I was like so many creatives. Look how good I am at this. You guys should give me things because of that.
You were on MTV. You know, you were doing comedy. So I'm sure you felt, I don't want to say entitled, but you felt.
I felt entitled. Okay. And then I felt entitled, but at the same time, there was fear. I couldn't create boldly because I had the fear of losing something. I felt like I had something, a little bit of something, and I had the fear of losing it. And once all the doors closed, I had nothing. And there is immense value in getting comfortable with nothing. And that was the ecosystem preparing me to lead. And in order to lead and be bold and be fearless, I had to get comfortable with the potential of having nothing. Because if I'm comfortable there, you can't take anything from me. You know?
Sure.
It's like when you got a nice job making $200,000 a year, you're going, oh shit, I don't want to lose this. Let me not ruffle any feathers.
Sure.
But when you're fine at zero, right? You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. And then they go, well, we might take something from you. And you're like, it's okay. I'm already cool back there. I know how to camp. You know what I mean? I got my lamp. I got my water. I know how to make a fire, you know, metaphorically speaking. And once I got in that state, I was just like, all right, fuck it, let's go. It's the best thing that happened in my career is just being from nothing comes everything. That's what I learned.
Did you let me tell you something. That may be the most gem dropping I heard you in a while.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get serious like that. You know, did you ever take a moment to realize, you know, how you where you are now?
Yeah. I
Are you proud? Are you proud?
I try to reflect. I'm just grateful. And what happens when you shift your perspective is like, instead of creating, when you get brought to nothing, right, you find out what you really love and what you really want. Like, I always thought I wanted this HBO special or this Netflix special. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to do comedy because I love creating. And then secondarily, I wanted people to see it, right? Back in the day when I was growing up, the only way they could see it was on TV or live. Now we have this amazing thing called the internet, which is way more effective than Netflix or HBO. And it was sitting right in front of me. And it was almost like, you know, the world was just like, hey, idiot, do I really have to close every door before you realize where the fuck you're supposed to put your content? And then I was like, oh, I still want my special. And they was like, all right, fine, here, I'm closing every door. It was like I was being led into the direction, and I was just too stupid to see it, you know? And the second I started putting clips out, man, it took a little while, but then they started to go viral, man, and it was crazy all around the world. And I started selling out shows all around the world. I really felt it when I did that European tour, and all these shows were sold out, and it was just like, I'm doing comedy in places where they don't even speak English. Something's happening.
That's fucking special.
But gratitude, man. Like, when you fall, at least for me, when I fell in love with when I realized that I love the creating, like I love podcasting, I love these conversations, I love making comedy. When you realize you love making it, if people see it and like it, that's icing on the cake. Sometimes we'll go film something. Like I went up to Washington Heights with Alex and we filmed this dropping in episode. It's a travel show I do where I did stand up in Spanish and we went around the neighborhood. I learned about the neighborhood. I learned all these cool things culturally about it. And at the end of that day, we're both sitting there smiling. And I'm like, yo, do you feel good? And he's like, yeah, dude, this was the fucking best. And we didn't even make it yet, but we fell in love with the creative process, right? So once we put it out and people loved it, you're overwhelmed. Because you're like, yo, I filled that void in me. And now you're giving me extra? Oh, shit. You know, like, it's amazing fucking feeling, man.
You know, they say most comics, and this has been over the years,
Sure.
get depressed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to monitor my shit, man.
yeah.
Like, I got to catch it. I got to see it coming. I came up in a family where both of my parents were, like, chronically depressed. So I was very aware from an early age of what depression was, the symptoms of depression, you know, what it did to people. So, like, even as a young kid, I developed systems to, like, deal with it.
What type of stuff? You don't remember?
If I had a negative thought, I'd balance it with 3 positive thoughts. You know? It just, like, and you know, you talk about privilege. Here's an interesting thing, like, is life really is perspective. Some people might look at me and go, man, that's sad that he grew up with these 2 chronically depressed parents. You know? I look at it as an immense privilege because I had 2 parents that were aware of mental illness at a time way before the general public was aware of it and accepted it. So I was good to go. I was ready. They were asking me things like, how do you feel? You a little down? Are you up? You know, like, I was like trying to figure out my brain from a young age. I was like, okay, why am I feeling down when I do this? Okay, boom, boom. Okay, I need to exercise. Exercise makes me feel good. Oh, being around people makes me feel good. Sometimes I need to have some time to myself. Like I was finding out the you know, the algorithm, the happiness algorithm for my life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's like, in a weird way, I'm so grateful for my parents' depression.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, like, you know, but it's something I'm sensitive to, you know?
You know, it's crazy when you say it like that, too, because back in the day, if you had an issue, people didn't know what it was, so they didn't pay attention to it.
Nothing,
If you had a learning disorder or anything.
Yeah. They just threw you in the class. They just threw you in that other class.
Listen, you know what? Let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
Sitting here with my friend Andrew Schulz. Don't go nowhere, but go to YouTube. Check out some of these clips, some of this comedy, some of the comedy tour.
Yeah, youtube.com/TheAndrew Schulz, man. It's I drop a new clip every Sunday for the special. The special is 6 parts. Go watch it, you know, and
dig into the catalog. There's previous
oh man, I have tons
there.
of other clips. You know, we have this show Inside Jokes where the comics are discussing the fucked up jokes. My travel show, it's like my Anthony Bourdain shit, but I do it through comedy instead of food, and it's called Dropping In. And yeah, just go indulge in that content, man. That's what we're building up.
We'll be right back. Cheers.
Oh, what's up? This is Heather Hunter, and you're locked into the Premium Pete Show. Let's get it all night. That's right.
And we're back. Same here with my guy, Andrew Schulz, a.k.a. Hezzy. You still playing basketball?
Still playing ball, man. And
Right.
kickboxing. That's my new shit.
And what the fuck is kickboxing? Like, I mean, I know what kickboxing is, but like, where's this coming from?
I enjoy fighting. I've always liked fighting. I used to box. But you know what else I realize is important? Like having something outside of our career
To do?
to get better at. Not just do, but to learn and get better at, but that doesn't have the stakes of the career. You know? Like everything in our career that we're learning and getting better at, you know, all the projects you're working on,
Sure.
et cetera, has a lot of weight to it because it's like, yo, this is how I pay my bills. This is how, you know, this is how I provide for my family, all this kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, it's nice to have a break from that, which is just like, hey, I got better at kickboxing today. It's just some stupid shit. Yeah,
Sure.
I learned how to kick. But for me, I'm like, oh, that was exciting learning how to do that kicking thing.
Has it,
Yeah, like I was a traditional boxing guy, so I never learned how to do the kicks.
does it relieve like stress, or does it? You feel like it helps you with?
Today, I feel like I was more stressed because I was so fucking exhausted. I'm 35, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not like a spring chicken. And I just got so exhausted after the class, and I went home and I slept for like 4 hours, and I woke up to like 40 unread emails and texts and all these other things. So it's just like panic attack. Like you just wake up in a fucking panic attack.
You see all green
Bro,
fucking missed calls.
tons of green. You know the sun is coming down. I'm like, oh fuck, what time is it? Pete, I gotta do Pete's thing at 7. Da, da, da. So it was just I woke up in free. Even when I walked in today, you remember when I walked in today and I sat down? You were telling me about something. I was handling a text call. I was like, there's like a million different
It's all
things.
good. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
No. That's life.
Yeah, it is.
So you're saying things like kickboxing has helped you?
You need to get out of this. This business is so consuming, right? You need to have your thing. And I think a lot of people have their family. I don't have a family yet. You know, so like you spend an hour with your kid, I assume you're on a different planet.
Yeah.
Everything slows down. Hey, catch this ball. He catches it.
Yeah.
He throws back. It's like meditation in a way, right? It's I focus on my breathing. I'm just staring at this thing that came out of my dick, and it's a fucking human, and it's saying my name, and it's just like everything gets real small, right? Everything gets microscopic. You're staring at sperm that turn into a fucking human being that looks at you like you're pretty much God, right? Because you're providing everything in his life. And it's in that moment, you're not thinking about Benson fucking up the audio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not thinking about
yeah.
the phone ringing.
Sure.
So I don't have that. So I got to kick shit.
One day you will. You know, honestly,
God willing, man. God willing. That'd be so
honestly,
ill.
I mean this.
Yeah.
Being a father is very tough. I have, you know, it's funny. I remember Charlemagne brought this up. I went to go support him in Philadelphia because I live close by there.
Yeah.
He had a book signing. And he was talking about, obviously his book was about anxiety.
Yes.
He brought up about parenting anxiety.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, I never thought of that. I swear to you,
Yes.
I go to bed some nights, even with my daughter, did I do the best job?
Yes.
Was I good enough to her? Did I give
Yes.
too much? Did I spoil? I swear to God, I bugged myself out. But
Yeah.
I will say this.
Yeah.
When you have young kids,
Yeah.
and you will one day, they're not going to just be old right away, unless you adopt them. When you have young kids, my son, I come home, you know what my son tells me?
What?
He's in be 4 years old. I said, Dad, you're my best friend.
Oh,
I guarantee you, you'll do 100 shows.
start crying.
I guarantee
start
you,
crying.
you'll do 100 shows. You'll get fire in your eyes even more than you already have.
Yes.
You're a very motivating person for yourself as well. Like
And then
meaning,
put
like,
a kid there, forget it.
oh, forget it. Now, can you find a girl? What happened? You had a couple of girls. What happened, bro?
I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I'm broken.
No. Are you too busy? Is it?
No,
you
it's
just
not
haven't
that.
found
There's
somebody?
been times, and I've had pretty amazing girls enter my life. I think there's if I really think about it and try to break it down, I think that it's a delicate equation to like maintain my happiness, right? It's like, you know, like a pond or some shit. You know how like the ecosystem is delicate, right? And if you know bring another fish into that pond, the whole thing could fall
Sure.
apart, right? Right? The fish start eating the other fish, and then like the pond scum builds up, and then it's just nonsense, you know? So like, I think it took a lot of work, and it still takes work to keep me at equilibrium.
Sure.
And then you throw in another person, and all of a sudden that equilibrium gets out of whack, and I haven't put enough focus into finding a way to balance it. You know, so my whole theory with the girl is like, you don't have to make me happy, just don't make me less happy.
Sure.
So the second I start to feel less happy, I start to pull back. I'm like, this ain't right, because why would I diminish my happiness to be with you? You know?
Sure. Add value.
Don't even, like, I know you speak about this all the time in business, and that's probably why you have so many incredible relationships, because you always add value, you always try to bring value. But like for me, just don't take away value. That's my, if we stay even right here, that's golden, man. You know?
And and think about it. Sometimes when we're younger or just going out, you're looking to hang out with somebody, you're looking to have sex.
Yeah.
Like say if you don't know this girl but you met her twice, like I'm trying to bang her.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're not thinking about
that.
Of course, you're not thinking about creating a family.
Correct.
I want to explain to you how real it gets.
Yes.
The same girl you're banging all over your New York City apartment.
Yes.
One day you got a fucking Legos all over that apartment. It changes like this. Did you prepare for that? It just happens by sex.
Yes. I feel like you're giving me the same talk you gave your daughter.
No, I'm sorry.
By sex. And they're going to try to get the tip in without a condom.
She's probably texting a friend, my dad is a fucking asshole. Let me tell you, no matter who you are, you're not cool to your daughter. My daughter's friend used to be like, oh, your dad has all the sneakers. This. He's friends with all the... And he's like, it's my dad. Whatever, he's corny. You know?
But I don't care if my daughter thinks I'm cool as long as she thinks I'm her dad.
Yeah.
Like, you don't got... Like, if my son... Like, when you said, Dad, you're my best friend, right? Like, my son says that to me, I'm breaking down. You know? But I don't need to be my daughter's best friend.
Yeah. I get it.
You know what I mean? I'm your dad.
Sure.
I'm here to protect you. I'm here to keep you safe. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like that son relationship, and maybe, you shed some wisdom on this, but like, that son relationship morphs. It's like you're curating a man. You're building a man. You're building a human being to continue the legacy of your family and like to continue putting the vibes out there in the world that you've put out. So like eventually they get to a point where you think they've arrived, and then they get to be a general in the army too. I
like that.
Right? It's like you start out as infantry, but eventually you could be a general, and I might be 4-star and you're like a 2-star because but you're a general still.
Sure,
you get the buttons. Where it's the daughter, it's like you're not in the army. You know what I mean? We're not building this for you. It's a different situation for you. It's maybe they're best friends with the mom, but it's my job. At least that's how I always felt. Is like it's always going to be my job, even when we're fucking 90 in a wheelchair. It's your job to keep that daughter safe.
Sure.
You probably tell your son to go punch somebody in the face, but your daughter, you'd be like, all right, just you hit him with a cane or some shit. Like,
sure. But some people are crazy. You think about it. I don't know how much you know about kids and sports games where their parents go nuts. There's been gunshots, fights, meaning...
My mom did it.
Yeah?
My mom walked right into the middle of the soccer field and stopped the game because the coach wasn't putting in my little brother. My mom's crazy,
but that's not crazy,
bro. She's crazy.
Like, let me ask him. That coach should have said, look, Ma, get back to the sidelines.
Yeah.
Think about it. There's people arguing with the refs ready to fight them. It's like when you start going to these parent games, it's insane. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be that. Look, my nephew was in baseball. There was a guy like, his kid was up to bat. Lift up your shoulder. You're never going to be Jeter. Lift up your shoulder. Like screaming at him.
Yeah.
It's like either the kids you guide them. But anyway, listen.
Yeah.
More to Andrew Schulz.
Okay. Whatever you want to talk about.
Some people love you.
Yes.
Some people, I wouldn't say they don't love you, but I think some people
don't love me at all, man.
Why is that? Do you know? I think you're more misunderstood. They don't really know you. They just don't love what you. They don't give. If they're not listening fully, I'm not saying you're right all the time, but they have to listen fully to at least see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Nobody that hates me has ever had a conversation with me. But I'm not here to be like only loved.
Sure.
If I'm only loved, I ain't doing it right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a polarizing figure because of what I am. right? Like people are affected by me because I hit them in their gut, right? There's a reason why I affect you, because you know that I penetrate, right? Like when I speak to you, I don't speak to you based on what we want the world to be. I speak to you based on what the world is.
Facts.
And just like gut. You know what I mean? Like I always say with comedy, like, why can old women laugh at your shows and they laugh at all this crazy stuff that you say? And it's like, because I'm tapping into their gut. I'm not tapping into up here. The comedy starts, it's reptilian. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like there's a reptile part of our brain that cannot help but laugh at shit. Right? And the same thing with on any podcast or anything like that. It's like no person that ever did anything great was universally loved. Matter of fact, he was very divisive.
Who?
Any great person in history.
Yeah.
There's never been you name one great man in history that was universally loved. You know, Bob Marley, peace, love, happiness, got shot. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got shot. Like, obviously, like you go through any great person, you're going to naturally have people that hate on them because what greatness does is it shakes someone's foundation and nobody likes their foundation shaken. So to all those people that you might not like me or you hate me or all these types of things, it's like, thank you. Because you keep me sharp. If everybody liked me, I wouldn't have to use the fine-tooth comb and the scalpel. But when I go through these bits, I'm trying to entertain the people who love me.
Sure.
And I'm trying to enrage the people who don't. Because I'm trying to make it so flawless that you might not say it out loud, but in your own head, you're like, oh, shit, that's kind of funny. Maybe I was wrong. And now I'm shaking your foundation again. You know?
You're a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up with
Yeah.
You went on tour with Lil Duval.
That was so crazy, man. Shouts to Lil Duval. That's one of my like spirit animals right there, man. He's like a
Did you
he's a
set
real
out to
guru.
murder him on stage?
Did I set out to murder him?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like body him? Like make sure I did better?
Well, I wouldn't say personally like that, but meaning, did you were you coming correct, or you just always come correct?
No, you always got to come correct, you know. But doing those shows, it was a challenge
Why?
because his audience don't show up on time.
Really?
Yeah, and I went first right after the host, so I was basically just like ushering in the crowd.
So they were still walking in?
Yeah.
Hey, look at this white guy. What was he talking about?
Exactly. So, but it was, I mean, I'm just such a big fan of Duval, like as like the thinker. So it was great to just be a part of that. And, you know, Duval's the first headliner to ever bring me on the road.
Really?
I've never been offered to come on the road by a headliner or anything like that. He was the first one that's ever did it.
And what shows did you do?
I did Buffalo, Columbus, and Baltimore.
Nice.
Yeah, and they were fun. Columbus was my favorite. Buffalo was fun too. And yeah, it was just fun, man. I mean, his crowds are great. He puts on this amazing, like, it's like a spectacle. It's really got me thinking about comedy and how we can do comedy different and how we can make comedy this bigger fucking thing. Like, he definitely thinks big picture. I can't say enough good things about Lil Duval. I truly cannot.
Yeah.
I'm like some of the most. I've sat down with these like, you know, these pop intellectuals, you know, the people that you see that are thought leaders of the world and all that kind of shit like that. And the conversations I've had with Duval, who has no formal education and comes from nothing, are twice as elevated as the conversations I've had with these like professors and intellectuals around the world. Twice. Meaning Duval would have to dumb shit down for them to understand conceptually what he's talking about.
God bless.
Telling you, man, the guy is the truth.
And he's talented, man.
The truth.
Talented. He's got a bright journey ahead of him.
Of course.
You know, and music too. I love what he's doing.
But he gets it. He gets life, man. Like he understands these fundamental things about life. And a lot of things about life you can't understand till you experience. You know, that's why we try to show people instead of tell people.
Sure.
You know, like every rich person will tell you money won't make you happy. Every poor person is going to tell you when they get money, they're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Right?
When you look at it like that, yeah.
So it's like, so who do we listen to? We got to listen to the rich dude because he's had the money. But every poor person is going to go, nah, when I have it, it's going to be different. No, it's not. But you need to get there to realize you don't need it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need to get there to realize where it is. So I don't even stop people on that journey. Go chase that bread. Jay-Z wants to be a billionaire. You're gonna be a disappointed ass billionaire.
Well, when he gets there, he'll tell us.
It's just a carrot. Like, what's the difference between 999 million and a billion? Nothing.
Well, yeah, you got to find a balance. You got to find a balance that makes you happy.
It's just another thing to distract yourself.
Sure.
That's all it is. It's just a goal. It's like, I'm doing kickboxing. He's trying to be a billionaire. It's like, the one thing I would say is like, how many people got to get hurt for you to be a billionaire?
Who knows? Somebody got to go.
You can't go there ethically, dog. $1 billion, that's a lot of money. Someone got to get squashed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Them iPhones are nice, but they're made by child slaves.
Couple of rub outs. Something's happening.
Maybe.
You know, did you ever make any like crazy purchase that, you know, when you started making money?
Yeah. I spend way too much money on clothes because my friends who have hookups with clothes don't get me shit. Killing it, dog.
No. You've been stepping up your game.
I've been stepping up because it costs me so much money. I just walk in a Kith and I drop $3,000 every time I fucking walk in there.
Yeah.
When it's like, can't you just call up these fucking companies and get me this shit? You got all the connects.
Yeah.
I spent $3,000 last time I was in Kith just because I was going to do a bunch of podcasts in LA. I want to look right. You couldn't get me this shit?
I mean, I'll speak to Ronnie. I got
a discount though.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had people there. Shout out to Mike and Jake, I think, but they took care of me, or Justin maybe. But I'm saying, like, we got to go right to the brand.
For sure.
Bro. What's the deal?
Well, we worked on some things, but we'll work more. You know?
You're right. No, you're right.
MTV too. You're
Yes.
a long-time Guy Code alumni. Are you
Yes.
Guy Code alumni?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened with them?
The game changed, bro. The game changed. Everything is changing. We're in a insane time for content, especially television. You're watching television crumble. It is falling apart. Sitcoms are dead. There will never be another sitcom again that is successful. Mark my words. There will never be another sitcom again.
Why are you saying that?
Because the internet is exposing what we really like about things, right? In the same way that if you go look at porn, you don't just go pick any porn. You got a specific thing that you like, right? I like feather porn, right? I like bukkake, right? I like midget porn, right? You like a specific, they
Small
got
people.
categories of that shit, okay? Because there's so much that you can there's so much you could take in. So when it comes to sitcom, what's your favorite sitcom of all time? What's the sitcom you like? We don't got to be that serious.
Cosby Show.
Cosby Show, right? So what's your favorite?
I loved Who's the Boss.
Okay, what's your favorite scene in Who's the Boss that you can remember? Just a scene.
Just I loved the interaction he had with his daughter related to.
Great.
I learned a lot. You know,
Right.
just like Tony and
Sure, of course.
Melissa
I did
Morales.
a
But
show
actually,
with Tony Danza. Yeah.
Cosby Show is where I love. My favorite part is when he was Theo was explaining to him about moving out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "All right, you make $800. He's like, $300 is going to be rent." And he started pulling it from literally teaching him
Finance.
Finance. That was
And
one of my favorite parts.
Just out of curiosity, what happened in the beginning of that episode?
I don't remember.
What happened at the end?
I don't remember.
That's why there'll be no more sitcoms. Now, I could ask you what happened at the beginning of a Sopranos episode. You could tell me. I could ask you what happened at the end of a Sopranos episode. You could tell me. Because with drama, the story arc is what matters. We're going from here to here. With sitcoms, all sitcoms are a series of sketches, and they need to fill 30 minutes of time, right, on TV, because you need to fill it. You can't just have nothing on a channel.
Sure.
So what they did is they wrote a story arc around these sketches, but you don't even need the story arc. So sitcoms will just become series of sketches featuring the same people. And this is what you see with Instagram comedians kind of already. They're just doing these sketches with their same group of friends, and it's the same kind of stuff. That will morph into a little bit more structured and detailed sketches on the internet. The sitcom only existed because we need someone to fill 9 to 9:30. What do you got? Okay, this Seinfeld kid. All right, throw it on. You don't need that whole episode to do the muffin top. You just need one scene.
Yeah. You think these Instagram comedians could really be successful as comics?
If they're funny, they can. If they're not funny, they can't. I mean, that just comes down to like who you are, what you are. I don't have any animosity to them at all. I actually love it. Like, because a lot of them set the bar low for us. Like, that's why I tell comics to get into the social media game like I got in. You know, it's like, if you're a stand-up comic and you're good, you're the best at being funny in the world. That's the hardest thing to be funny at, on stage with a mic.
Sure.
So if you could do that, you could definitely put something out on Instagram that's funny. So get in the game. Simple as that.
You know, Brilliant Idiots has been going on for years.
Yes.
And still kicking.
Yes.
Still very relevant. Still very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Was there ever a point, because I know, you know, was there ever a point that you felt that Brilliant Idiots would come to an end?
I wasn't sure. I would never stop doing Brilliant Idiots. I would never. I mean, you know, Charlamagne got into a little shit earlier this year. And so there was some concern about what was going to happen. You know, we took a couple of weeks off to really just kind of let shit calm down. And, but I was never going to stop doing it, you know, in any shape or form, just because I love it and I think it's important. And I understand the value. Sometimes things are bigger than you. I understand the value that it has to people. Like, people look to us as a resource to unpack certain shit. And obviously have fun and fuck around and sell jokes and, you know, just be silly and irreverent. But, like, also they want to know. They want to unpack. You know, and like, sometimes you got a responsibility that's bigger than you. You know, so you got to do it. And it brings me joy to do that. So, yeah, I don't think, for me, it would never have stopped.
Yeah.
You know, but I was concerned that there might have been a moment where that happened, but yeah, for me, no.
Well, yeah, because sometimes when a pause happens, sometimes it hurts, but you guys were able to come over the hurdle. Because, you know, it's like Combat Jack show, I'll never forget. They were doing something with the studio. So the guy was like, yeah, you know, you guys take off a month.
Can't.
He was like, Combat had the foresight. This is where Chris Morrow came in the picture. How crazy is this?
Yeah.
He put a tweet out there, anybody have a studio? Because Combat told me, he said, look, if they want us to take a month, that means 3 months. We'll lose our audience.
Yep.
He puts a tweet out, you know, gets back to him.
Chris motherfucking Morrow.
Says, I got a spot for you. Put us up in, you know, uptown, and we never stop taping.
You can't stop. You got to go. Dog, it's like, I mean, we went to L.A. I went to L.A. to do all these shows and podcasts and shit like that. I filmed 2 podcasts while out there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, we found studio space. Shout to, you know, Fighter and the Kid and Brendan Shaw for supplying that, and then the Minimalist podcast for supplying that. Check out both of them. They're fucking great. But, like, yeah, you got to do it, man. Consistency is everything on social, on the internet. Is everything, man.
You know, you ever get to a point where you're telling a joke
Yeah.
and you feel like the audience is not getting it?
Yeah, all the time.
How the hell do you overcome that? You have a moment you remember?
Yeah. What honestly, like, yeah. There was this blackface joke that I was talking about, and I was trying to, like, find the funny in it, you know, because there was all these guys that had, like, the blackface, you know, pictures. All these white people had these old blackface pictures. And I've been thinking about it too hard. You know, it's like, you ever look at an image so close that it's blurry?
Sure.
That's how I was with the joke. I was, like, right up on it, right? And I just went on stage and I just said it. I just said blackface. And I just kind of, like, sat there with the audience with it. And then there's a weird thing that happens to me. Like, when an audience laughs or gives me positive energy, something happens in my brain and it just starts firing, right? So, like, I just came up with the bit, at least part of the bit right there. You know, and it was just like, oh, fuck, that's what it is. That's the joke. So, yeah, it happens. And for me, in order to get through it, is just to put myself in the most vulnerable situation possible, right? And just jump. You know, a lot of this shit is cliff diving.
Sure.
This industry's cliff diving.
Sure.
Like, that's what people don't get, man. It's like, here's the thing about cliff diving. Nobody wants to be the first person to jump off the cliff.
Sure.
Because you don't know how deep the water is. You know? So, like, my value right now is I'll jump off the cliff because I'm not worried about the depth. You know what I'm saying? I got faith that there's enough water down there. You know? So I realized I had to, and if I was going to move the industry, I had to do it from underneath them. You know, it's just like the industry, what they do, they're a sailboat. They're just going to go with the wind. right? They can't go in the direction of the wind. Physically impossible. They go where the wind takes them, right? So I realized if I wanted to change the industry, I had to be the wind. So that's what everybody should be trying to do in their respective field. Be the wind.
You know, with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Everything going on with him. Did you see that interview?
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, man, it is, I don't know. He's just, I don't know, to be honest with you. It's a weird thing, man. It's like, yeah, this guy's into younger chicks. He's not the first older guy that's into younger chicks. You know what I mean? Is he like kidnapping them and putting them in his house? I don't know. I'll say this about it. Like, the only reason this is an issue now is because he's broke. Right? That's why everybody's like, why is this coming out now? It's like, well, because he can't pay off these people. Right? For the last 10 years, they've been going, we're going to talk about this unless you give us some money. So he just gave him money. Then he ran out of money. So now when you want money from someone and they don't got it, what do? You go to the police. Hey, he's been molesting, my daughter for X amount of years. Well, why don't you say that X amount of years ago? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
sure,
you were all getting money. And my theory is like, once you accept money for something, that's the truth. Like Stormy Daniels, anybody who accepts money and signs an NDA, you signed away the truth. Right? If you say to me, Andrew, you cheated on your wife with me, okay, and I'm going to tell people, and then I give you $100,000, I ain't cheating on my wife. I just paid you for history.
To erase that.
Gone. SD card is erased. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love it.
That's what the $100,000 was for, bitch. It's not for you to just take a pause and then come back wherever you want. Anytime a payment is involved, if you accept payment, that's your price for your story. If you set your price at 20, tough. It's like the Michael Jackson kids. Apparently, both of these guys accepted settlements, and now they're talking again. It's like, you chose how much getting your dick sucked by Mike costs. You put a price on your dick suck. It was 100 or 1,000,000 or whatever it was. That's your price, right? Don't accept the money if you want justice. Or do both, sue them and go to civil. But what happened was you got a little nervous you weren't going to get some money and you were going to lose in court. So you were like, let me just take this safe money. Right? Well, once you take that safe money, bro, you ain't get your dick sucked. That was your friend. You know what I mean? Like, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's like a job. It's like someone pays you to work. Right? And then literally this is what it's like. It's like if your employer pays you to work, they're like, hey, here's $100,000 a year. You work for me, you did all these things, right? And then after that year, you go to him and be like, why did you enslave me for a year? He'll be like, what? Like, you enslaved me for a year. I was doing all that work for you. And you're like, yeah, I paid you for that work. And you're like, yeah, but if you don't consider that payment, then you made me work for free. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? You got your money. You should be happy. That's my perspective on it. I don't know. What's yours?
No, I get it. For me, with that, it's like the people, yeah, it depends. Everyone has an ulterior motive, okay? And some people, as far as with Michael, and I didn't even watch that doc.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the fuck,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it.
Those kids still love him, yo.
Yeah. I think the world still loves him.
Those kids he touched still love him.
Yeah.
They're telling the story about he's touching them and then also reminiscing on how amazing a time it was.
Yeah.
You know why I'm
sick.
blaming all this shit?
Huh.
Real talk? The parents. There's incompetent parents out here, yo. If you look at the parents in these documentaries, every one of these documentaries, the parents, they fucking... Bro, the parents in this Michael Jackson documentary, they kept saying, Michael befriended us. Us. They really thought that Michael gave a fuck about them. They're still brainwashed, thinking they were friends with Michael Jackson. No, dummy. He was working you so he could touch your kid. And you really think it was real. They're more in love with Mike than the kids were. They fed the kids to Mike. Like, these parents should be put... I mean, they should just have their fucking heads cut off, bro. Every single one of them. Like, it is insane. All these R. Kelly parents, same thing. You saw the video. You saw the video of him pissing on the girls. Why are you bringing your daughter to him? Like, no. Bury him. Adios. Lobotomy. You're a liability.
Lobotomy. Man, it's a crazy subject. Crazy subject.
Would you do that? Your daughter? You know?
No.
Fam, if someone had a rumor of pedophilia, would you bring your daughter around them?
Absolutely not.
A rumor. Not an untrue rumor. No way.
It's crazy.
Just you take your kid to the fucking log flume and you're upset that he got wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're at the log flume.
This is what happens at the fucking log flume. The water comes inside the log.
Couldn't be more explainable than that. You know, as we wind this episode down, you mentioned about a bunch of your series, right? A bunch of your... Think about it this way.
Yeah.
How hard is it to come up with about an hour worth of stuff?
For me, it's very easy.
Really?
Yeah, very easy. No, stand-up or series ideas.
Either or.
I just have ideas for days. If I hang out with someone for 10 minutes, it's just a gift I have. If I hang out with you for 10 minutes, I can think of 10 different shows that you could do if you have talent.
Sure.
It's just something that's in me.
And then stand up.
Stand-up's different. Stand-up has got a boil in me. It's got to bubble up. I got to care. I can't write jokes about shit I don't care about. But, you know, it's like, because it's no different than when you put the pasta in the water and it's not boiling, it's just warm.
It's not al dente?
Yeah, or like, imagine you put the pasta in the water and it's cold. You're not going to get pasta.
No.
You know, so it's like, for me, the idea needs to be boiling inside of me, and then it comes to the point where it just has to force itself out. So that's why for me, writing a joke can take a long time or a weekend. I can put together a 10-minute or 5-minute joke in a weekend sometimes, or 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Do you still have jokes that you started with that you still use to today?
Nah, I've probably put out all those jokes.
But how do you know when?
When it's done?
Yeah.
The joke's never done. I've improved the jokes that are on this special. But you have to accept at a certain point in time, you got to go, okay, I'm giving this to the world. And then you just got to accept that. That's something I had to learn too, because I'm a perfectionist. And I don't want to put it out. It's not good enough yet. But it's like, no, give it to the world. Because they don't know that it's not good enough.
Sure.
They just know it's that good when it was killing that night. And that's the first time they're seeing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Listen, youtube.com/the Andrew Schulz?
The Andrew Schulz, yeah.
Okay. Now the series is what? 6
6 parts.
Okay.
First 2, I don't know when this is coming out now, but it's basically every Sunday in March, a new part drops on Sundays.
What type of, what is it like? Like what parts is it about? Like what?
The first one is the intro. Second one is why Trump was right about grabbing pussy.
Yep.
Third one is about trannies.
Yep.
Fourth one is about periods. Fifth one is why we need to get rid of vibrators. And the sixth one is the telltale sign that a woman loves giving head.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's it's funny you said getting rid of vibrators. Give a little preview of why the fuck is it?
We just got to get rid of it because it's hurting women.
Yeah.
It's really hurting women. And that's why I want to get rid of them. Not because for me it's hurting women. It's hurting you guys. You guys will check the joke out and
Yeah.
and see the whole thing. But yeah,
You know, look, anytime I have you here is always special.
you, man.
Look, let me tell you something. I wasn't feeling well, but I said, fuck it. Andrew Schulz is my brother.
my brother.
You know, I may sound a little bit like a real old Italian guy,
I love it.
but I'm still premio, you know.
Premio
I'm still here. You know, look, your dad, too, I know, is dealing with, you spoke about memory loss.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you been making the most of that time with him?
No, I probably should.
Why not?
Um,
I'm not just asking that as a podcast. I'm asking it as a friend.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's I don't know. It's something I feel guilty about. You know, it's in this career where you like wear a lot of hats, your time is spread very thin, and like sometimes you have to sacrifice certain things, and I may wildly regret sacrificing that kind of family time.
No, well, we could change that today.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, the first thing I'm doing when I leave here is going to give my mom a call and just connect with her and connect with my brother. I mean, I think I would feel worse if my dad was like pressuring me to hang out, or like I was canceling on him or something like that. But like in a weird way, my dad is in a very blissful state of his life. Like it's what we were talking about perception earlier. You know, it's like it would be easy for me to go, both of my parents are depressed, woo-hoo, you know, how sad am I? But another perception is, how lucky am I that I have people who understand this so I can understand it. And with my dad now, I could be like, oh, he's losing his memory. How sad is that? Because I lose this connection with my dad. But in reality, my dad, at least to me, seems like the happiest he's been.
Where does he live?
He lives with my mom.
They live in New York?
Yeah, in East Village. So
Are you around this weekend?
yeah, no, I'm gonna hang out
Go
with
for
him.
lunch.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. Like, I'll go over to their house and I'll say hi, and I'll be like, Dad, you want to get some food? He's like, No, I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
My dad is like so content.
But what happens if you tell him the day before? Like, hey, if
Let's
I come
make
over Saturday,
plans.
can we have lunch?
That's a great idea. That's a good idea. I got to do that.
I'm not trying to make this the therapy episode with Andrew Schulz.
Son, everything happens for a reason, man. Maybe I needed this.
Yeah.
Maybe I need, you know, because I was talking to my buddy Verzi at the end of the day, and he was just talking about like it's easy to get lost in your business,
Sure.
and then spend all this time in your business, and then at the end of it, you have no one to share it with, you know. And I don't want to be that person, you know, that doesn't have this family to share it with. And, you know, I think I see it a little bit with my mom. You know, my mom and I we'd kind of beef a little bit growing up, and I think she feels immense regret that she didn't nurture that relationship early as she's getting older.
Sure.
I think she's like, I'll get like drunk apology texts and shit from her, and I've told her like the past is dead. Like it does us nothing to lament on the
Sure.
past. Like you have to forgive yourself because I've forgiven you. You know, I felt I had everything growing up, so don't do that. But I think she's going through that point in her life where she's like, you know, I really want this with you, and I guess I gotta make my time more available for her to nurture that. Even if it's not for me, even if it's for her, you know?
Listen, a well-balanced mind will bring more laughter to the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Just enjoy them while they're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you never know. I don't want to get all fucking Pastor Pete here.
Get Pastor Pete, man.
No, I'm
There's
saying,
levels to this shit.
But you never know, you know, you never know. You never know when people, our loved ones, you know, when they're not around no more. And I see that a lot. Sometimes you get so lost in, you know, making money and in the moment and traveling and perfecting your craft that you like, you know, I have like a 98-year-old grandmother. And sometimes I go a month without calling her. And I'm like, what the fuck? She could pass away any day.
Yeah.
How do you not just call?
Yeah.
So, you know, I start to do that more. I'm just saying, look, at the end of the day, one thing I really enjoyed about this episode is not only the real points from you, but is explain to people that finding balance in life is important, and also finding a way to fix your life is important.
Yeah, it's never too late for that,
Yeah.
I guess.
You know, even like how you spoke about stripping yourself, finding new ways to think.
Yeah.
You know, to give you and ultimately it made you more successful.
It gave me
If
everything.
you didn't have an open mind, you could have just been at MTV2 knocking on their door to be like, get the fuck out of here, Schultzy.
Greatest thing ever happened to me was like just self-empowerment, man. And I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't forced to. You know how like you know how we all sit here, like we're all city kids and we're just like, I don't know how to make a fire. It's like, well, because you haven't had to. But if we're out there in the cold,
Sure.
you best believe a fire gonna get made. You know what I mean?
Light that
We're gonna be
motherfucker
rubbing
up.
them sticks together. Come on, Pete. You know what I mean?
magnifying
It's
glass
like
out.
go. Yeah, exactly. We're grabbing bifocals. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do. So it's like adversity introduces a man to himself. Like you don't know what you're capable of. You know, like I felt like that when I was boxing in the ring. It's like you don't know what your ability is until somebody pushes you there.
Sure.
Like I didn't know what I could do for myself in my career until I was put in a position where I had to.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how deep the water was until I jumped off the cliff. You know what I mean? Everybody could guess. You can sit up there like, it's 10 feet, 12 feet.
Sure.
Sometimes you got to be like, all right, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 20. We good.
Yeah.
You know, so
But if you don't jump, you'll never
you're
know.
not going to know shit. You're going to have to wait for someone else to jump. And it's like, now's the time to jump. Like right now, the industry is falling apart with the internet, man. It's the beautiful time. We get to take advantage of this. Jump. Cook. Now's the
Create.
time for creators, bro.
Jump,
That's it.
cook, and create. Internet's on Twitter, Andrew Schulz.
Yeah.
On Instagram, Andrew Schulz.
No T. YouTube.com/Andrew Schulz, man. Watch some stand up, watch some clips. If you watch one clip and you don't fuck with me, then that's totally good. But I promise you, if you haven't heard of me yet or haven't seen my stand up, I will be the funniest comedian, the funniest new comedian that you've ever seen.
And when he's in your city, buy a ticket, go out, bring your girl, bring your friend, and support him.
My man.
Internet's my friend.
Chea.
Chea. Internets, if you enjoyed that episode, then hit me up. That's right. Email me at thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com. Again, that's thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com. If you're an advertiser, any big company, small company, startup, whatever it is, you want to advertise on the Premium Peep Show, hit me up. Email thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com. And we'll get to working, okay? And if you have a suggestion or you want to hear a certain guest on the show, whatever it is, okay? You know, you could at Premium Pete Show on Twitter or Instagram. Or for the last time, I'll tell you, well, I'm not gonna, it's not the last time. Email me, thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com, and let's get to working. Cheer.